Once upon a time, in a bright little village surrounded by rolling hills and whispering streams, lived a curious boy named Ethan. He was 8 years old, with sparkling eyes that always searched for something new to learn. Ethan loved asking questions about the sky, the stars, the birds, and even the tiniest ants he saw marching in lines. His friends sometimes laughed and said, "Ethan, you think too much." But his grandmother always smiled and said, "Curiosity is a gift, my dear. It is a key that opens hidden doors." One sunny morning, Ethan was sitting under the big banyan tree near his house. He noticed a golden feather shining on the ground. It was unlike any feather he had ever seen. It shimmered like the sun and seemed almost alive. When he picked it up, it felt warm in his hand. Suddenly, a soft voice whispered, "Follow me." Ethan looked around, but no one was there. The feather floated out of his palm and drifted into the air. Without a second thought, Ethan ran after it. The feather glided over meadows, across streams, and into the thick forest. Ethan's heart pounded with excitement. Soon, he found himself standing before a tall, sparkling gate made of crystal vines. The gate opened on its own, and he stepped inside. What he saw left him speechless. It was a magical land filled with creatures he had only read about in stories. Tiny fairies with glowing wings zipped past. Unicorns drank from silver ponds. Trees whispered secrets to one another. A fairy, dressed in a gown made of flower petals, flew down to Ethan. "Welcome, brave child," she said. "This is a valley of wonders few humans have ever entered. The golden feather you found belongs to the guardian phoenix, protector of our land. But the phoenix is in trouble. Its flame is fading, and if it disappears, our world will fall into darkness." Ethan's eyes widened. "How can I help?" he asked without hesitation. The fairy smiled. "Only someone with a pure heart can help the phoenix. You must find the crystal of courage hidden in the cave of echoes. Without it, the phoenix cannot regain its strength." And so, Ethan's adventure began. The fairy guided him to the edge of the valley, where the cave of echoes loomed like a giant mouth. The cave was dark and deep, and strange whispers floated out from within. Ethan felt a shiver of fear, but he remembered his grandmother's words about curiosity being a gift. Taking a deep breath, he stepped inside. The cave walls glittered with crystals, and every sound Ethan made echoed back to him, only louder and stranger. As he walked deeper, he faced 3 challenges. The first challenge was a riddle carved into the wall. It read, "I fly without wings. I cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness if it lies. What am I?" Ethan thought hard. Then he smiled. "The answer is a wind." As soon as he spoke, a door of stone slid open, revealing the path forward. The second challenge was a bridge made of glass, stretched over a river of fire. Ethan's legs trembled as he stepped onto it. The bridge shook, and the fire roared. But he closed his eyes, whispered to himself, "I am brave," and walked carefully across. When he reached the other side, the bridge vanished behind him. The third challenge was the hardest. A shadowy figure appeared, looking exactly like Ethan. The figure spoke, "You cannot succeed. You are too small, too weak, too scared." For a moment, Ethan almost believed it. But then he remembered all the times he had been curious, all the questions he had asked, all the little victories he had achieved. "I may be small," he said firmly, "but I have courage." With those words, the shadow faded away. At last, Ethan reached a chamber where the crystal of courage lay glowing on a pedestal. It pulsed like a heartbeat. When Ethan touched it, a warm light filled the cave, and he felt braver than ever before. The whispers turned into cheers, and the cave itself seemed to guide him back to the valley. The fairy was waiting at the gate. "Well done, Ethan," she said joyfully. She led him to a giant nest where the phoenix lay, its feathers dull and its flame weak. Ethan placed the crystal of courage beside the phoenix. Suddenly, the crystal's light flowed into the bird, and the phoenix burst into radiant fire. Its wings blazed gold and red, and its cry shook the heavens. The darkness in the valley vanished, replaced by endless light. The phoenix looked at Ethan with eyes full of gratitude. "Brave child," it said in a deep, gentle voice, "you have saved the Valley of Wonders. You listened to your heart, and your courage has restored my flame. You may return to your world, but remember this. Whenever you feel afraid, the courage you found today will always be inside you." In the blink of an eye, Ethan found himself back under the banyan tree, the golden feather still in his hand. The forest, the fairies, the phoenix all had disappeared, but the feather glowed softly, reminding him that it had all been real. He ran home and told his grandmother everything. She listened with a knowing smile and said, "See, Ethan, your curiosity led you to courage. Never stop asking, never stop exploring, and never doubt yourself." From that day on, Ethan lived with a new confidence. He still asked endless questions, but now, whenever he faced something scary or difficult, he remembered the phoenix and the crystal of courage, and he always whispered to himself, "I am brave." And so, Ethan grew up to be not only the most curious child in his village, but also the bravest. And the golden feather stayed with him forever, glowing softly. A reminder that courage shines brightest when we need it most.